Thirsty and 30.
Sherry, this always puts me in a very, very thirsty mood on a Wednesday.
I
I don't
know.
know. I don't know if we should dance or what. But anyways, we're going over a wholesome route today. So good evening to our very dateable crowd because we're trying to do affirmation. We want you all to be dateable, right?
Oh,
So we are on episode 26 of Thirsty and 30, the blind leading the blind chat show on modern life and love. Our goal here is really smarter love, which means helping you improve your relationships with yourself and others. So I'm Bea, your favorite thirsty expert.
hi, Bea. So, hello to our usual people. I'm Shari. Thanks for joining us today. This episode is actually inspired by one of our viewers of our Sunday episode. She asked us if we had anything about self love. Of course, we did not. Not really. So, here it
Yeah.
is, guys. We'll be doing a deep dive on self love, how to practice it, and how to nurture it within you. Because, again, how are you? We are a show about love, Bea. Let's not deny that. So, how are we supposed to find love without loving ourselves first? Diba?
Yeah,
According to
exactly. I mean, people can't love you if you don't love yourself, right? But there might be such a thing as too much love for oneself. So I'm not sure. We're trying to figure it out. So just a tiny favor, if you guys are at home, drinking a wine or maybe a tea, whatever you feel like, just share this live stream with your friends and start a watch party. This episode is anyone for who has a lot of self-doubt and anxieties. I've been talking to a few of our listeners, Sherry, and they have a lot of worries. So let's get real, Sherry. What are your personal doubts? You're very confident, but I think you have your secret doubts that you're not telling me.
my secret
Taking
doubts.
therapy. Yeah.
I guess my secret doubts would always just stem from what will my ending be? Am I gonna actually get the whole house, 2.5 kids, and a husband life that we all dream of? That's always a question mark and it's a doubt.
Hmm.
Um, I guess that's really it. I can't really think of one thing that I fear more than that, not getting that. How about you?
How if I die alone? I think that's pretty straight up. I don't really need the fence the children. I know, we just go straight to death. How not to die alone? That's my main thing. I want to have someone you like dine in front and you laugh and like I don't know, share a cup of coffee. The simple things, ba?
I like the die alone, and I'm like the 2.5 kids, a dog in the house. Okay. So to help us out with handling our worries, we invited two fabulous people who are naturally like just extroverts. We chat with
Yeah.
them about their charmed life and of course the self-work that they have done. So our first guest lives by the mantra, may the only pain in your life be champagne. She is the manager of an auction house, Casa de Memoria, lives life with so much energy. She is also an advocate of mental wellness, having had some personal experience herself. She is one of the most genuinely kind people I know. Let's welcome Camilla. But we'll welcome them sabay pala. Go ahead.
Together. So yeah, Ferdi is an absolute social butterfly. anytime he's around, it's such a good time. Like I can't even explain. Like he just has a skill to make you feel warm and kind of open up. So a bit of both. He is also known for his very refined taste in all things and people. So self-love is really about self-care. So we think if you love yourself, you have to put the best things in, or skincare, whatever it is. We'll ask him. He is also a modern parent to a beautiful girl. So I'm very excited.
And I have to say, our outfits tonight, we were inspired by him. I saw him wearing a polo a while ago. I was like, I want to wear one too. I was like, he looks so cool. Okay, so let's bring the two of them in. Camilla and Ferdi.
Hi, guys.
I wish I was wearing a polo.
Hi,
That's our usual attire.
Yeah, I think they too much.
I know.
We're really not that fabulous.
You know what? But you guys are like fun. I met Ferdi just today, and I was like, but yeah, I like him. He's cool. Camilla, I've known you for a while, and you've always been the life of the party. But you know what my favorite memory of you, Camilla, though we were younger and we were out in, I can't remember what bar that was. And then I just saw you walking across. And then you were going to the bathroom. And the next thing I knew, I see a heel flying.
What?
Like her high heel, she tripped. And then I remember like a high heel, like a beautiful high heel. I'm like, Camilla?
I have to say, in my defense, the high heel was like this. It was like a huge
it was. But then the cool thing was you stood up with a smile on your face and you were like, picked up your heel and went to the bathroom. I was like, see what I like.
That's so her.
Yeah.
We have two of the same, because my favorite memory of Ferdi is like there was no heel flying, but basically we were flying in like just enjoyment, and we were in a motorbike in Bali together, just having the best time of our life. So we did feel like we were floating in
definitely,
and happiness and tequila. That helps.
Keep the details to ourselves.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, so Camilla and Ferdi, we are gonna start the night with an anonymous letter before we dive in our topic. So we would like your advice. Bea, take it away. Read our letter.
Yeah, you both are very experienced in love and life. So let's see. This girl, I've been chatting with her for a while. Let's see if you can help her. Dear thirsty girls, I am so happy that your topic is self-love this week. I have to say I'm becoming wiser and looking for a future partner after a few of your episodes. You always give me the best reminders. So here's the deal. My love language is giving gifts. So the past few times I've fancied a guy, I've always sent the guy tokens of appreciation. I am a Bumble believer that a girl can make the first move. So last week, I met this hot guy online, and I decided to send him some homemade pastries. I got into quarantine baking. Here's my question. Is it okay to send gifts as a girl to a guy? Should I expect something in return or not? And what if I don't get anything back? I am making carrot cake this week, and I'm thinking of sending him again some cake. Because I enjoy our conversations. Advice, please. Much sugar, Miss Baker, wanting to be a Mrs. Baker.
Okay.
I don't think you should send gift. I'm a gift giver as well.
We're both gift givers.
Yeah, and I don't think you should start out giving gifts to wanting anything in return. I think giving gifts is such a pleasurable thing, especially if you have a little bit more to give, right? Mm. So my love language with my friends is like giving as much as I can. So I don't think you should start out saying in your mind, do I need something back? Because gift giving is not about wanting anything back. And yes, girls can do the first move and give gifts. And you know what? If they don't respond, then that's just on the guy because he's a fucking pussy. Yeah.
I like, you can swear, by the way. Right. It's okay.
Well, I've been in this situation a million times. Okay, I am a gift giver as well, but I've learned how to temper that. You cannot be giving gifts to somebody. You can't establish a relationship by giving gifts off the bat because it completely changes the sphere of the relationship. Because at the end of the day, you, Miss Baker, right? Her name is Miss Baker. Miss Baker. Yeah, at the end of the day, you're gonna say, "But I gave so much of myself, but you didn't get anything back." right? So what I've learned is give the gifts to those people that you already have an established relationship with, rather than establishing a relationship because of the gifts.
That's true as well.
Oh, did I do that? I totally did.
I love that.
No,
galing
it's
mo.
true. I mean, I think if you're like a woman or a girl, you know, and you give a gift to a guy and you already have an established relationship and he doesn't reciprocate or he doesn't, it doesn't even matter what he does because at the end of the day, you can do that. You know, that's your choice at the end. But it is true. You have to have something established. You can't just be like, oh, I'm going on a Tinder date and here's like some diamonds.
Because you're sending the wrong signal. If you really like this fellow and you want to keep this fellow, you have to give the right signals, okay? By giving them a baked good or baked goods off the bat. You're like, the guy might feel a little bit standoffish about it. He's like, wait a minute, you are making this much effort. Do I have, like, the guy might think, do I have to reciprocate the same thing to you? Because it is pressure. Yeah. Ladies do that.
I have a strategy. I'm a dodgy person.
I feel like if you are in an established relationship and you are a giver and the guy doesn't like accept it or he's not gracious about accepting it or make kind of like equal kind of like he's just doing the same thing for you, then he's not the greatest guy, right?
Yeah. And if you're just saying thank you for everything you give, but does not reciprocate, like what Camille said, then there's a disparity of what level relationship the guy wants and where you want it to be as well.
Yeah.
And reciprocating can be many things.
Absolutely.
Can also be accepting your baked goods.
And eating it. Good.
Exactly.
Right?
And then the guy, if you honestly think your baked goods are good, but you have a real friend taste it and it's not that good, and the guy actually eats it,
and he's like, "That's so good."
yeah, that's
That's
so
a
good.
keeper.
It's
a
either,
keeper.
it's either north or south. It's either the guy's a keeper or he's a liar from hell.
Oh no, my hugot, Ferdi.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
Bea, what's your strategy, Bea?
stop giving food. Let's not give ayuda. I think what we have to give, I like to give a book because then you give them homework. It's a little encouragement to start better conversation. And I've done it twice. One, I got gifts back in return and the relationship has flourished and continued.
Wow.
And the other one just became a pen pal. I sent him a book. He sent me a book back and it was it. But because he was going to live somewhere else for good, it was just one of those things that could never continue. It was like...
At least he was decent.
Yeah. Like I really don't have relationships with men who aren't good conversationalists or aren't like, I wouldn't say educated. Like, I think that's such a wrong word. I don't generally have relationships with men who can't keep up. You know what I mean? Because as you go on in your life, you want men who can have logical conversations with you without it descending into like utter chaos and them and shouting and screaming and it being about nothing more than something very small, right?
But actually, you know what? There might be something deeper with our anonymous letter sender, because if she feels like she has to give gifts or her language is giving, okay, there's several ways to give: time, effort. There's a lot of that. Okay, it's not just in one box. However, for you to make the effort to make a baked good or make goods, it's probably because you feel like there's something amiss with you, or you feel like there's something missing in your life, or let's call it physique or confidence or something. That's why you're doing this, right? Language of giving can come later after the initial contact. You know what I'm trying to say?
I like that.
Yeah, you gotta figure out whether is it something deeper. That's why you want to give a gift, or is it because you're trying to cover up something.
Don't give a gift to make up for something that you feel is lacking or to make up for something. That makes a lot of sense. My advice to Miss Baker, though, is I think timing is everything.
And
Give
I think
gifts
also
to other
it's like in the Philippines, like our natural love language is feeding people.
Yes.
So
Oh, it's true.
Very true.
that might be also her way of like saying, hey, I really like
Yeah.
you, but I don't really know how to tell you in words that I like you.
Yeah.
But here is a lemon tart.
Okay, this is what really bothers me, ladies. Okay,
Yeah.
when you start your relationship, because well, obviously the four of us, we've been exposed to a lot of different cultures and stuff like that. What really bothers me,
Man.
the Filipinos or something else. And guys, I'm a Pinoy. I love my Pinoy pride. But the message of kumain ka na ba? Kumain ka na.
Oh my gosh, I was talking about can't stand that.
It drives me insane. I'm like, you're not my nanny.
Or don't forget to eat.
My husband loves it when I feed him.
Well, yes, because you're like, it's more than it's the difference is, hi, did you eat already?
Yeah.
As opposed to, hey, feed me.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
heard that some men don't like the question, what did you eat today? Like, you could do better though. Yeah, but I don't know. It's
People
fine.
in general, I don't like that. Have you eaten? Don't forget to eat. Do I look like the kind of girl who forgets to eat? The answer is no. You know.
I mean,
It's not cute.
It's subjective, right?
It's not
Yeah.
cute.
But I think if you're generally asking about a guy or like a man about it, and you're
Mm.
saying, "Hey, do you want anything to eat?" They just
Oh
want
yeah.
something, right?
Yeah.
Really.
So Miss Baker, if you listen to all of us, we have different advice, and then I think you should take them all. Again, timing is everything. If you feel like you're just rushing into it, so this guy asks you out on a date, maybe now's not the time to give a gift. You know, just test it a little. Or if you want to send the gift,
Until like
Yeah.
the Tinder date, and then give your
Or wait for him to
baked
give you
goods.
something. You know,
Yeah.
I want for
you
it.
are worth more than your baked goods, honey. You are. I'm sure you're amazing. You're beautiful, and you've got a lot to give. And just wait for him to notice that, so that he will give you stuff.
Yes,
But
and it's great
who
goods.
is very forward, and I'm not gonna wait for that shit. So I'm gonna make you notice me, right?
Just eat the carrot cake yourself.
Check.
Let's just not.
Don't do the carrot cake.
Let's not give the baked goods.
No.
Bea kasi tama na. You're encouraging her. Eh.
Send the
Um,
book para my homework. Tingnan natin kung babasahin
But
yung...
just wait for him to send you something. Ito na lang. Wait for him to send you something. Send him something back.
Okay.
Like I
Baked
think
goods,
a good
nudes, I
way
don't know.
of, like wine. Send me wine. I'll send you wine. Then we'll have the wine together.
Or better
I
yet,
like this. I like this.
traditional date.
But it's COVID, you know. They make
Distance,
You afraid.
social distance
They make
date.
you afraid. They make you afraid.
Really?
Okay, guys. Let's move on from Miss what was she? Miss
Miss
Baker.
Baker.
We wish you luck. Okay. So guys,
She can,
we'll
she
dive
can be Miss Wine. She can be Miss
Oo.
Wine.
Tama na the big goods. So guys, for back to our self-love here. So Bea and I decided to do a 3-parter today. Past,
Yeah.
present, and future. So let's start with the past. So we've all had colorful pasts, I would say, like when it comes to love, life, or whatever. So let's start with one simple question that Bea and I talked about a while ago. Can you love yourself too much to the point of being delusional? And what are the signs of this? And have you had experience?
It's like, it's too
Okay.
real.
Wow, this is so much packed into this question.
Yeah.
But I think you have to define the word self-love, because I think it's so skin deep to say delusional. I think like you could love yourself so much wherein everything in your life is loved by you and loved by everybody around you. I think when you say self-love, it gets misconstrued and to like the facials and to the bubble baths and to the, all these like very minutiae things, when self-love is taking the time in yourself to fix whatever is in yourself or work in yourself to be better. And no, I don't think you can love yourself to delusion, because I think if you love yourself this much, then how can I say this? Like, if you love yourself this much, where you put yourself importance, over not everything, but most things, you can actually make yourself a better person and make everybody in your life love you more. And that's just a personal view, you know.
Well, for me, my early years, you're right. I was disillusioned, not because I was delusional, but disillusioned, thinking that everything's given to you, right? So
Mm.
there's no love there because you're told what you're worth, because obviously you're young and you don't know any better. So what happens is you tend to attract the type of person you want to be. You get, like, if you've got that's why people have idols, because that's what you want to be, right? And then as I progressed to like to that middle stage that you guys were describing a while ago, I started to learn that, hey, self, that was the shopping, that was the eating, that was traveling by myself, treating friends and stuff like that. And then now I'm in that point where in self-love is not just like what Camille said, skin deep, but it's the meditative state. Like, I love myself because I love where I am right now. It's not because of any other environmental reasons, other material reasons, financial reasons. It's I really like the person I am at the moment, because I've grown from Ferdi 2.0, 1.0 to 3.0 at the moment. You know what I mean? That's a kind of self-love that I would like to radiate to people that are watching.
And
right
I
now.
think also when you get to a point where it's like you've done so much in your life, where like I've had a very colorful past, and that I never hide that from anybody, not from my family, not from my friends.
Mhm.
I mean, there are the people who have seen it firsthand, but I think when you're at the point where it's like you just accept all that you are, flaws and everything, the worst parts of yourself, where you're like, this is really, like, really, really dark stuff. And when you ask yourself the question at night, where you're like, man, am I a bad person? But you can still love those facets of yourself at the end of the night, when you're like insomnia in the bed and you're wondering to yourself, like, gosh, am I a bad person for whatever it is that you had in life? But you still can love yourself for those things.
Which is perfect,
That's
babe.
self-love.
Which is perfect,
Yeah.
because guilt
Yeah.
is associated with ethics, right?
Mhm.
Wow.
And if you're not guilty of anything that you've done and you know it's wrong, because everybody knows what's wrong and right. Murder is wrong. But if you're not guilty and you don't have any empathy or apathy for anybody, for that matter, it means to say that you're a messed up person, right?
Yeah.
However, you were guilty about what you. It's like that hangover the next day. Like, what
No,
the
but
hell did
but
I
I
say?
feel like, well, at the end of the day, if you're
You
not
don't
like
want to be reminded of hangovers.
fine, your life has been great your whole life, and you've never experienced any of these things,
Mhm.
and you're like a fantastic person, great. But I don't think that in the end of the day, if you haven't struggled to uh, for the pursuit of happiness, and you don't know what true darkness is, there's never you'll never know what light is at the end of the tunnel. Like, you'll never know.
That's why I'm so proud. I'm so proud of you, really.
I have a question for both of you.
This is like
On
the
a
best
very
answer to the first question. Okay, go ahead, Bea.
on a personal level, because you do talk about the dark times and you talk about the guilt. Have you ever been in a relationship that didn't encourage self-love?
Oh yeah. I mean,
And what was that like for
I
you
was
guys?
in a really, really like bad, kind of almost emotionally abusive relationship. Um, and every time something bad happened, I always thought it's my fault. He's doing this to me because I did something bad.
Mm.
Because according to him, I'm a bad person. And according to everybody else in my life, I'm a bad person. And I was like, and it made me stay in that place. You know what I mean? If I had maybe if I was maybe a little bit older and I had all the tools that I have today, where I can process all of those things and make myself a better person, then I wouldn't have had all these destructive things happen or do these destructive things. But being in a kind of relationship like that, where it makes you question so much of everything of yourself, it's really quite painful,
Yeah. But everybody's gone through that. The best of us have gone through that. But people, you gotta realize there's a difference. There is, because if you're in a relationship because of romance, correct? That's how it starts, right?
It's fine.
However, people don't differentiate a relationship based out of love, wherein it translates already to a relationship because it's abusive, mentally, verbally, and I hope not the other abuses. You got to figure that out. Like I went through that as well, like Camille had said, but I didn't realize that after like X amount of time. I was like, wait a minute. Why do I feel like why do I feel bad about
There's
this?
even some men who are so charismatic who like kind of trick everybody in your life to thinking they're the right person.
Correct. And they look good in front of other people.
And you look like the bad person.
But in the actually, you are the one struggling, where in the other person's peacocking everywhere, because there's a syndrome for that. It's like Stockholm syndrome.
Like when
we were just talking about this. Stockholm syndrome.
When I started dating my husband, I was so confused. I said, oh my God. Like, I feel so strange because I've never experienced in my life where a man has, like, put me first this way.
Can I tell them a story? This
yes,
is what
please do. We love a good story.
I knew that Camille's husband loves her to death. Okay, because I was in Italy, in Tuscany, and Andrea lives very far away. He lives up north, 3 hours away. South, right?
We were on a long distance relationship for 2 years.
So I had invited him to dinner with 2 of my friends, and he readily said yes, not knowing how far he lives. Right? He drove 3 hours to have dinner with us and 3 hours back to his home. To do what? Not to have dinner. Okay, that was not his primary goal. His primary goal was to give me 3 cans of tuna.
My favorite tuna.
Her favorite tuna, to bring home to Camille.
Oh, cute.
Paano ba nakakahanap ng ganyan?
That's love, okay? That's the kind of gift, that the language of giving you should like look for.
Miss Baker, there.
I was like so confused. I was like, and Ferdi was there. I was like, Ferds, I really don't know what to do with this guy who's like just treating me so well. And the moment that you're in a relationship or you're in a place in your life where you're questioning why this person is treating you so well, then there was really something wrong in every other relationship in your life.
Yeah. And I caught them on their first date. She did not declare to anyone. I was in the bar. I was like, wait a minute. Camille was doing her hair flips. And I was like, oh, here we go.
Wait, I have a question. You said it was such a strange feeling to like have someone take care of you. Did you have that conversation with him? Because I know some men that will probably bring it up and be like, hey, I'm a good person. Did he bring it up?
Why do you keep doing all of these things for me? And why do you keep, like, I don't know, like, I was like, why do you keep doing these things for me? Because I got confused. I was like, I don't deserve all these things. And at the end of the day, when you think to yourself, I don't deserve, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Because every fucking woman they deserve to be treated so well and to be loved.
I guess this is where it's coming from, Millie. It's coming from past relationships wherein you've already been programmed that you're not going to be taken care of. You take care of the other person.
Yeah.
So it's that reverse psychology already, and you're in this situation wherein what's gonna give? Why do you love me so much? What do you need from me? How else am I gonna suffer from this? You know what I mean? And I'm waiting for that, guys. Anybody? I'm dateable at the moment.
Hey, you guys all know me. I was single for so long, and in my opinion, very undateable because I was, that free bird, doing my own thing, really happy in my single life, I was just in a place in my life where it was like 7 years of like trying to work hard in my mental health. And then like the last 2-3 years were like, oh my God, I'm so happy being single. Maybe I'll never be with anyone.
Then boom.
And the moment I was like so okay with being alone, that was into my life. The
You
moment
know,
I accepted it.
that is
And
such a common trend in all our interviews. They say the moment you stop looking for love, it will just come.
Okay, let's stop looking.
I know, I'm not looking. Okay, okay, let's go back to our past. Oh,
I
Yes.
think it's mostly like when people say looking for love, there's also the component of like looking for love within yourself.
Mm.
Because you know,
Damn, girl,
yeah.
that's deep.
I
need
like
more.
that one.
No,
Okay,
I just
yeah.
honestly feel like at the end of the day, like he came into my life when I just was like, okay, I'm good with the rest of my life, not being in a relationship, not having kids, not being married.
But we had fun.
We
Lots
did.
of it.
We had lots of.
You have to have fun with yourself and your closest
Yeah,
friends, I think,
Absolutely. That's why you should
to
go
get
to
to see
myself and to Bali.
We should all go to Bali.
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
COVID allows.
I know. Agree. So, guys, let's go back to a little bit of the past. So, if you were willing to share, what is the worst heartbreak that you've experienced that triggered you?
Oh
like,
my God.
Tama
I'm
na.
gonna answer first. I'm gonna get a glass of wine because this is gonna take a long time.
My worst heartbreak was probably. I mean, I reached a lot of bottoms in my life, but there was a particular kind of like horrible time in my life where I had a past relationship and he gave up. So he, chose to like commit suicide, and it really broke me inside.
Mm.
And that was a moment I felt I had many moments where I was like trying to rise up from that and 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 start again, and I really couldn't even start again. And it was just an awful feeling because I felt, oh my gosh, this person did this because of me, because because I wasn't enough, and at some point it was like, yes, he died, but but the most painful part of it was I'm not enough. And that was my most heartbreak in life, because I think there's like a moment of like strength in yourself, and when it just goes away, that's really the most heartbreaking thing.
But
Yeah.
at what point? I'm sure you realized at a certain point that it wasn't you at all, right? That it was more.
Like 12 years later,
Wow.
yeah, it took a long time, and there was a lot of like gaslighting and
Yeah.
and times where he brainwashed me. So
Mm.
it took a really long time. It took like 12 years for me to even realize that, hey,
There you go.
not at fault for those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you say those 12 years were the time that you really put in the work on yourself? Like,
Oh, I had to. And I
Mm.
was single for 7 years after that.
Mm.
And it was just like I had very horrible mental health issues. Like I was diagnosed with bipolar, and I was on medications, and it was just like it was really a horrible time, and it took me many years to even figure out that one, that time wasn't my fault, and two, I am a strong and I'm a good person.
Yes, baby.
Yeah.
You are.
How about you, Ferdi?
Ferdy.
You,
Heartbreak.
Bea actually knows his whole story.
Yes.
Her mom was so worried about me that she sent me away.
Yeah.
Actually, okay, so I was dating this person, and I thought I had found the love of my life, and I really thought that I can spend my life with this particular person. But unfortunately, I was not treated the way I deserve to be treated. And as I said a while ago, that person looked the best in front of everybody, and I was the bad one.
Mm.
But and in reverse, I was struggling, and it really reflected in my life, and it really got me down to the deepest, darkest core of myself. And it took me 5 years to get over it. And I even went to the point wherein after we broke up, I moved to Bohol.
Mm.
And Bea and I were working, well, Bea's parents and I were working together at that time, and I would only fly to Manila twice a week just to go meetings with her, with them, and then fly back to Bohol because I couldn't take it. I could not. We were neighbors too. We were in front of each other, and I could accept it. And it took me a long time to get over that, and I felt so worthless. I felt like nothing else mattered. And every time I'd see this person, I'd try to be cool, right? Yeah, you're right there. Cool, let's have fun. And then I turn around, tears would go down my face, and
Yeah.
I can't deal with it. It was so bad that Bea's mom, who was
Yeah. She was so worried about you.
she was like, Kurtz, do you have a Schengen? I was like, yes. Why? Can you fly with us? I was like, no. She was like, why? Because we have construction.
Yeah.
But after I got over it, things are so much more beautiful. But you need that great pain, and you have to get over it because it's gonna make you so much stronger, and it's gonna help you build your character. And you know what? Once you lose that greatest pain of yours, it's preparing you for the greatest love that will come to you.
Oh, that's nice.
I
Yeah.
love that.
So,
No,
Ferdy, for those going through their big heartbreaks now, that you both went through something like that. What's your number one tip to help them jumpstart their, okay, I'm gonna get over this?
Own
They're
the pain. Own the pain. Cry it out. Go to the
Yeah.
shower. Cry it out.
And have a
Yeah.
support system.
You have to have a support
Whether
system.
it's your friends, your family. We're lucky, I think,
Yeah.
that we had a support system. I think when people are dealing with anxiety, depression, even worse things like bipolar, schizophrenia in the Philippines, there isn't any support. Whether it be like with your friends, because there might not be that kind of understanding with your friends, or governmental, or medical, because there really is no awareness in the Philippines for mental health. So
And it will affect you, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
And even if you don't realize it, it's going to hit you. But me, what I did was love, because your support system was great, because you already knew what was going on, right? But for me, I was going through depression, but I didn't know it. I thought I was just sad. Depressed, when you say, I'm so depressed, it's not the same thing as you are depressed. You know what I mean? There's ways to deal with it. It's a chemical imbalance or triggers, right? But what I told myself, now, the past relationship I just had, I gave myself a time frame. I told myself, cry it out for a month, all out. Tell your friends how much you hate that person or how much you love that person. But give yourself a time frame, and then you tell yourself, 1 week, I'm done grieving for you because you're not gonna come back anyway. So why am I gonna feel sorry or hurt because of what you did to me? Because you're just allowing that person to hurt you even further after the breakup.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just allow yourself to grieve, but give yourself a time frame.
I think you nailed the recipe. Honestly, like the first part, allow yourself to cry it out. You have to feel the pain because there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it feels like someone's emptied you and then chucked all your inside.
People who can't
Who
cry,
can't get out of it?
who can't cry. There are literally some people that I know who are just like so numb to the pain because it hurts so much, and they really can't even cry or even be angry about it. And
But
so
maybe because those people, babes, they don't realize that they're actually depressed. They've got a mental health concern.
Yeah.
Because if you don't feel any pain or apathy,
or if you don't even know the difference of what's what, because sometimes that's a reality.
Girl.
Sometimes it's a
Ginger
reality.
vodka, honey. I mean, that is.
I know. Sometimes vodka also helps. I can.
I
a
drank
drink or
this
two
vodka.
with a friend also helps to just cry it out. And then you start to move on by talking to someone. I don't mean talk to a friend or family member. Talk to a therapist. I mean, I'm a big believer.
Like,
right?
I've been speaking with my same therapist since I was 21 years old. And I have to say that it's because it's this someone in your life that has no connection to you, right? No emotional, no judgmental, no familial connection. And it's your job. And you're talking to them and you can get everything out and they can give you the appropriate advice, which maybe sometimes your friends or family can't give you for just for whatever reason, right?
And since we're in this topic, sweetie, I mean, you friends out there that are watching, if you've got a friend going through something really tough, it is your ethical duty. No matter how kulit that person is, and you know, oh, this person, my friend's going through it again, and they've done it a million times. Don't take it lightly.
Oh, don't.
Don't take it lightly.
Especially now after this COVID. Oh my gosh.
There's a lot of things going on. But don't take it lightly. Give the person, you know, that phone call that you're like, oh my gosh, making me kulit again at 3 a.m. You gotta pick it up.
And hey, be kind. Be kind to yourselves and be kind to your friends. Because really, at the end of the day, it's like, you may not know whatever this person's going through, right? Even they're being a fucking bitch to you. You don't know. No, but it's true, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Guys who are just like mean and unreasonable, and you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, right? So just my motto is be kind.
And always listen to your friends. This is why you're friends. If you don't listen to them, you might as well not be friends. Just have dinner. That's it. I mean,
makikinig na ako sa'yo.
Thank you. So Shari,
all of you, because she was telling me a while ago I had Stockholm syndrome with my last. We were talking about it before, but now okay na. 3 words you should ask your friends once in a while. Are you okay? I think it just, or even you're right. Just not everyone is okay, even if they look like it on Instagram or.
Honestly, I don't think that now with what's going on with the world with COVID, I don't think anyone's okay. I think that everybody's going through the same anxieties, the same feelings, the same kind of like, oh my God, what's happening in the next 3 months, right? We have no control over what's happening.
Yes.
And that's like the worst thing, is the lack of control.
And the loneliness you feel.
Yeah.
Wait, I have a question on not just loneliness, but a negative emotion such as rejection. A lot of women or men, or they feel like they're gonna be rejected, or they feel rejected already.
That lies deep in me. So I'm an adopted child. So, and I don't know my biological parents. I'm so lucky to have like my parents who adopted me. Like, I mean, come on, right? Like, so lucky.
They heart you big time. I mean, they fight over you.
I'm so lucky, but at the same time, I think as an adopted child, and maybe you understand a little bit, there's always the feeling of, gosh, why did they give me up? Like, why am I adopted? Like, why? And that has like been through every part of my life. Like, if I go through a little bit of rejection, I'm always like, oh my gosh, they don't like me. They don't love me, just like my biological parents.
Wow.
It goes so deep.
Yeah.
It really goes so deep. And it's like even the smallest minimum trigger. And like, if my husband says like, I don't want to do that, like, because he's tired, like, I'm like, oh my God, he's rejecting me. Like, I feel so shitty. No, but
it's so interesting.
So much better, babes, because you know how much you love you get from people. I mean,
but it's so
ingrained.
Yeah.
What do you do to counter that? Because I know.
But babe, if you don't mind me interjecting for just a little bit.
Sure, of course.
Rejection is a great filter. Okay? You're actually dodging bullets when you're rejected because it's really not for you. Yeah. And it hurts and you're like, oh God, it's such a cliche thing to say. But it's true. When you feel rejected, when you're rejected and you feel like, oh, okay, it's gonna feel like shit for a little bit. But think about it, okay? And you see that person after 6 months, if you got rejected, and they actually date somebody that's not so cute compared to you, you're like, oh, That person
Missed
said,
that boat. I'm glad I missed that boat.
you missed. Okay, you missed that flight. Thank God.
Yeah, those are
You were
good.
saying,
I like that. Good filters. No, with rejection, like, do you have things that you say to yourself, like little,
Oh my gosh, all the time. Like, you're a badass boss bitch. No,
I know this.
seriously.
You missed
Um,
this gold mine, honey, because I could have given you a lot.
no, seriously. I think every day, I have little things where if I'm triggered by something even very small, I try to have little processes in my brain where I'm like, okay, like they did this and they just said that, and I kind of I do this thing. It's called dialectical behavioral therapy.
What is that?
Wow.
Yeah, it's therapy because it's two prong, right? Dialectical behavioral means two prongs, and I separate the emotional and the rational in my
Mhm.
brain. So when something happens to me and it's even very small or to being very large, I'm like, oh my gosh, like my emotional brain is like, right? Like, I hate you so much for rejecting me. But my
Yeah.
rational brain is like, okay, Cam, like they said this, but they don't really mean it, or it's just in your brain where you think it's really bad. And so when you say dialectical behavioral therapy, you kind of have to marry the two together and say rational, what is the rational and emotional response that you should have?
Oh, you have to open your dilate, right? Is that it?
We're all about that. We are a thirsty show. That's so interesting. I love that. Shari, do you do I think a good exercise is also looking at yourself in the mirror and not hating on yourself too much. Like, I know people that look at themselves and like, I don't like to see my cellulite or something.
I think
Um,
she looks at the mirror. She's like, "Hey, I date you."
And she's like, hey, I'm a
Look at the way she's looking, sitting right now. She's like looking at the camera. She's like,
Because I grew up so big for so long.
yeah. Yeah.
I heard Cam told me you worked on your beautiful body.
I possibly like
so
almost
amazing.
down. So I guess my whole life I really did have to convince myself, and like I couldn't
Like,
live
love
my life like,
yourself.
oh, you're fat, you're ugly, blah blah blah. So I tried my best to stay as confident as I can be. You know, it was
Yeah.
hard. Remember, like my temper would get to me when people would say the worst things, but in my head, I was like, you know what? No, you're great. You have great friends. You have great family. Like fuck other people.
There you go.
But it's tough.
And there's
So-
also like the tita thing when they come to your like parents' house and they're like, oh my god,
Lumusog ka.
Do that?
so chunky.
You're like, you gained so much weight, but you're the funny one. I'm like, what? No, babes, I'm not the funny one. I'm the murderous one, sweetie. So
Gosh, like
Or the
coming,
worst thing is like, you're
No,
so
like-
sayang. I'm like,
no, like coming from
I get
being,
that a lot.
like coming from being a big girl as well. Like, I mean, come on.
Girl, you
It's
guys are
just
hot.
like at the end of the day, no
What?
matter how big, small you are, like just do it. Big or small, fat or thin. Fat is just a feeling, not a shape, and you are beautiful.
yeah.
I love that. So
That's an ingredient that I need to cook with.
exactly. I think we should leave the past because that is already quite cooked already. That's been
Yeah.
done.
So we're moving
Let's
on.
let's talk about the present. You both have shared so much of your experience, and as I can see watching both of you, is you do have a level of contentment. Whether you're not always okay, that's fine, but you have
That level of
experienced a
contentment.
lot. Yeah. What's the most realistic way to practice self-love for people that are not at your, level of contentment?
Oh, can I take this
Yeah,
first?
go.
I'm not content yet
Oh,
because
okay.
if I'm content, I'm ready to go, and I'm not ready to go yet. I think I still have a lot to give. But talking about reaching that level of contentment or being happy with yourself, you have to make a lot of mistakes. You gotta fall and pick up yourself again, and fall and stand up again, and fall and crawl again. It's life lessons will teach you that no professional, no pastor or guru can tell you that this is the right formula. To me, it's about being genuine to yourself, being a kind human being, being compassionate, being careful about the people around you and their feelings, and being nurturing for them. That to me is as close as contentment can be when I'm ready to go, you know. But as I'm not, I just came out of as I told you guys during our pre-prod a while ago. I told them something really terrible, but I'm still looking for that. Ew, look it. Could be. I'm
Just kind of
still looking for that.
subtly looking.
I'm still looking for that person wherein, like Camille found hers, and just looking for that one person that I could say, look, I'm gonna sleep in bed all day because I know you got it covered.
You're a catch, Ferdy.
I
You don't
know.
Let's get married, baby. What are you doing over there?
You're a catch.
I don't think Ishari is your type.
Oh,
I can deal with
no.
that.
Maybe Brad Pitt's your type. Brad Pitt is a
He's my
beautiful
type
man.
too. We can share him. Okay.
Let's give him a call.
Okay. So, Camilla, what routines do you, both of you actually, what routines do you practice though for your self-care, self-love, to keep yourself in check?
No, actually, like something that's really important to me, because I feel like being married, I had to have a lot of concessions for my husband, which is not to say I didn't want to have a lot of concessions. It's no, what is
It's funny.
You're
Why?
being real. You're being real.
No,
That's
it's just I was just a really free person before. I was just doing what I wanted. And something that's really important for me is having an hour out of my day where it's just me, myself, and I. Because I'm actually like I'm a huge extrovert. I love being around people, but I'm also like quite a solitary person. Like I really love being alone. Like I'm the type of person that when I was living with my parents, I would be in my room all the time, or on vacations, I would be like doing my own thing or reading a book, and I'm quite content. Like I like to go to lunch, like eat a really good lunch by myself and read a
Yeah.
book.
Yeah, I'm down.
Like I'm so content being alone. And my husband's like the opposite. He like wants to be with me like 24/7.
Yeah, oh, you're so unlucky.
So I have to tell my
We're like, I want that. Someone following me around.
no, like I have to be
That's my
babe.
lip.
I need at least an hour of the day for myself to do whatever I want, whether it's to take a hot bath, whether it's to read a book, whether it is to like do whatever hobbies that I have, or even just like watching my YouTube videos without any interruption. I need that kind of like quiet moment. It's really important for me because there's some days where I feel like I give all of myself to either work, or all of myself to my family, or all of myself to my husband, and it's just not healthy to not have anything left for me. So
Yeah. Well, for me, it's weird. I mean, aside from the fact that I like to get facials and get stuff done to my face and my body, because
you're not the only one.
we love that. We go
I
together.
love that.
Now you just pop off.
That's what we do. But
Relax.
I've got a weird thing that I like. I like long haul flights by myself.
You know what?
Oh.
I understand.
Yeah, because nobody's there. I don't know anyone.
Yeah.
So that I know is a flight attendant, and it's my
And they look
person.
after you too.
Yeah,
Right?
it's just because I don't know anyone. I don't have to talk to anyone.
And a good champagne.
Ah,
Well,
That's all you need.
and I like doing the groceries.
oh,
Oh
okay.
yes, I love a grocery store. Love it.
Yeah, oh sweet. My gosh, I can go
That's what
on.
I miss now. I don't go grocery shopping anymore because I'm scared of the groceries.
Don't-
Sorry, you gotta ease your way in, ease your way out. I mean,
Yeah, so that's
No,
my
COVID kasi Bea food na naman. Ko talaga.
and spending time with my kid. Like we have daddy-daughter dates where nobody's allowed. No nannies, no grandparents, no uncles, no aunts, no friends, nobody. It's just me and her and I, and we just go to the beach and we just sit by the sand and we watch the water. And she asks me a million questions, and I just say yes, yes.
Oh, that's sweet. That's so cute.
I love that. You know what? We keep talking about self-love, and I think I was reading from Esther Perel that self-love has been, we all appreciate it, but you can't have self-love if you don't have all the other kinds of love. And do you feel like you've had to work on, let's say, your relationships with your family,
I
friends,
think there's a
partner?
very big difference between self-love and selfish love.
Yeah.
But
Ooh, that's
but
deep, girl.
the difference is like super close to each other.
Yeah.
Because
Thin
Very
line.
thin line, yeah.
sometimes there's people who are like, I need my self-love moment. That I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. It's all for myself, right?
Selfish
Um,
love.
I'm the opposite. Like I'm also like Miss Baker. I know I profess my love and giving to others, to friends,
Yeah.
and um, that's just how I get happy.
And you do it very well.
That's just how I like. Even if it's inviting friends over for dinner, I love cooking for them. That's how I practice my self love. I don't know, right?
I like that. Bea, how come you never cook for me?
We did. We cooked the other day. We were saying we're wife material already.
Oh yeah,
So
nga pala, guys.
we're not saleable yet. But I like what you said, Cam. It's really, you have different ways of showing your love for other people. And we don't really learn to love ourselves by just, loving. I can't learn how to love myself if I'm just by myself. I have to look after my sister, my mom, my dad, and other people I meet, and Shari sometimes.
But I really like the self-love versus selfish love. I never even thought of it that way, but that makes so much sense. Even when you start thinking about when you're like delusional about love, I think that's when it becomes selfish love, when you become delusional about your self-love, loving yourself too much.
I think you can have selfish love even in a relationship because there's people who are like,
Oh my God, that's
Ferdi's like, I know this back and front.
So speaking of love, though, Camilla, how did you know that when you saw that he was the one? Like, when did you know?
Oh my God. Tell them. It's so cute.
I didn't know when I saw him, but
Oh, sounds like a fun
we went out, and my brother, he was working with my brother at the time, and my brother was like, take care of him, and I was like, okay.
She did.
Oh, you took good care of him.
Went out, and we had a date the next day after we went out, albeit a very drunk date. Okay,
I can tell you where it was because I caught her.
No, this was even before that.
Before when I saw you by the bar.
And then it was like my birthday week, so I had a huge birthday week with friends of mine. We went to Pangasinan, and he was like in Davao for work. So we texted like the whole week. I was like, oh my gosh, this is probably just like a one night stand, right?
There's true love after one night stand. Huh?
Every day, and he was like, do you want to go on a date when you come back? And I was like, okay. And then I kind of knew it was kind of a weird, serious thing when I was on the date, and I started having a huge panic attack. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go to the bathroom. We went to Smith's, like the steak place.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm having a panic attack. I went to the bathroom, and I called my best friend. I'm like, oh my God, Jess, I'm freaking out. I can't even talk to him. And for me, that's really weird, right? I said, oh my God, babe, I can't even talk to him. Like, I'm starting to cry. I'm like, I don't even know what to do. Should I just leave? And like the whole date, we were not even sitting across from each other, sitting beside each other. I was like this. I was like,
that's such a weird, like,
that is so weird.
Situation.
I was just so overwhelmed with that.
And then, like during the night, I was like drinking. We got kind of closer. Then he kissed me, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Then we went to the bar.
That's where I saw them. Like totally you should have seen her. It was the cutest thing. I was like,
that's when I kind of knew because I don't think there's any.
Yeah.
Don't think there's any guy who is kind of like taking my breath away.
Oh,
Camille was not even doing a hair flip. She was going. I was like, whoa! She got whipped. Like she was like really dipping the. I was like, so I was observing her for 30 minutes, and then I went in between. I was like, so
I was like, oh my God.
What's going on here?
You know when the hair is like going down, like
I
to the
know.
side,
But I have to
it's
say,
so
like
serious.
even after that, because he went back to Italy, I went to a festival in Thailand,
Yeah.
and he flew to Italy. Then he surprised me in Thailand like a
Yeah.
week later.
He likes to do that.
No, but that's how he's been our whole relationship. Like even to my parents, he would fly to Manila. Like he was living in Hong Kong. He flew like in 1 year, I think, like
Twice a month.
like not even more, 3 times a month.
Maybe.
He flew every weekend, and like that's been our whole relationship, where he's even shown my parents like his physical way, his kind of commitment to us, and I think that that's amazing, right?
Can't wait for
Effort, guys.
Yeah.
Effort and commitment, boys. Listen to
Yes.
that.
Can't wait for the wedding.
Can't wait for the big wedding. Oh my God.
Yeah.
We
So,
moved our
Camilla-
wedding 3 times because of COVID.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I have a question. How do you handle long distance since you were in long distance?
how do you handle long distance?
Sweetie, you know, because you're a testament to how it worked. I've been. I'm kidding. I've been through that, and you gotta really make a commitment, and you don't give yourselves a unrealistic goal. Oh, we're gonna make it happen. No, you gotta tell the person, look, let's be realistic about this. You're far away, and I'm here, or whatever. But as much as possible, we have to keep it as intact as we can. And you have to be honest. When you start feeling that it's crumbling around you, or you start to have wandering eyes, you have to be honest with the other person. Say, hey, look, it's either I come home to you or it's not gonna work.
The moment where it got really hard for us, we were 2 years in a long distance relationship. I was like, babe, I don't think I can do this anymore, because we made a lot of concessions. Like we stopped like going out with our friends, like going out with other people, because not that we didn't trust each other, we just didn't want to have experiences outside of each other.
That's sweet.
And I said, babe, I don't think I can do this anymore. Like I'm going crazy. Like I'm just not the type of person who stays home like every weekend. And he made the decision to move to Hong Kong. He was like, he made the biggest decision to leave his job and get a job in Hong Kong. And and
then move here.
And then he moved here. Yeah. So
This is what I need to hear.
You have reactions. What's going on, honey?
yeah.
No, you know what?
Yeah, sure, but we're asking.
We do have a hi first. Hi,
Hi,
Kevin.
Haku.
Hi, cool.
We
Bea
all
was with
need
the
to
reaction
hear
now.
that. I like that. You gotta make a commit. You gotta try to make it work. Move in the
gotta
similar
try.
time zone.
Effort,
Don't
boys,
blame
effort.
yourself if it doesn't work out. Don't think you're going to be a statistic, because
There has to be one of you that makes the next step.
the sacrifice.
Oh, it's
Okay.
big sacrifice. Like the whole year during COVID, my husband was here, and like I'm from a family of 7, so we're really close. But he's from a family. He only has a brother and his parents, so they're like even closer.
Yeah.
So they really love spending time with each other. So that was such a big commitment, because he missed them so much every day. And when he moved here, because primarily of COVID, because Hong Kong obviously closed, that was such a huge step for the both of us.
Can
Right?
you imagine going to your family? Because her
Yeah.
family is huge, right?
Yeah.
Like with the kids, just your family with the kids, the in-laws and stuff like that. It's quite a shock, I have to say. But it's a
They
loving
love it.
shock. He plays mahjong.
He
But
plays
you
with
know,
sound.
it's because you've done the self work. I think like both of you do so much self work, and the self love, not the selfish kind, that it will attract good energy eventually. I mean, for Cam, I believe Adonis will come
It's
around.
going to happen, baby. You know what?
An honest one.
I'm not
Yeah.
doubtful.
Yes. So, guys, I think we move to the next step, future. I want to ask first Bea's favorite question. Actually, we both love this question.
Yeah.
Whoever wants to go first. What is love?
Ooh, love
The blondes
is.
go first.
Oh, gosh, love is not even. When they say in like storybooks and movies where it's like, oh my gosh, it's that feeling where it's like so amazing and everything's good in your life. I don't think that's love. I think love is when everything's so hard and you have a person there who's like, I'm going to be there always and I'm going to pick you up. That's love. Or you're an awful person and you're going through your own mental health thing, but my family was like, I still love you. That's love. I think when everything's harder and you see the people around you who are there for you, that's love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, love is not love when you quantify it. Because love should be infinite. It should be freely given. And if it's not freely given, then there is concern. Because it's not just a feeling. It's a euphoria. It should be a lifestyle. Love should be a lifestyle. Whether it's romantic love or love for
Friendly.
friends that become family, or love for the people around you. And if you see somebody in the street that doesn't have anything and you feel love, not pity for them, that's what I think is the ultimate description of love.
When
Or
you
if you guys love me, please ask Bea and Shai for my details. I'll go on and
And
Yeah.
you could also send me cake.
cake. Miss Baker,
Miss Baker.
we'll take your carrot cake.
Yes, send it to them. When people answer this question, I really find hope in the world when they talk about love because it's so exciting. Like I think love can be thrilling even during hard times. Like I think it keeps you going. What do you both look forward to the most after COVID? I mean, we don't know if it's maybe the
In
next
life.
few
My
months.
wedding.
Yeah,
That's what I look forward
your
to.
wedding. Okay,
Oh
okay.
yeah. Mm-mm.
My big wedding.
Yeah, what I look forward to at at this point in time, because this is such a big learning curve for the whole world, for humanity,
Yeah.
is how people can be more compassionate and be more understanding towards each other,
Mm.
and having to adjust properly, and then redefining your priorities in life. It's not about you. It's about your well-being, mentally, spiritually, physically, and the people around you. Because you may have all the money in the world, but if if it doesn't quantify to happiness,
Oh,
love,
and your
contentment,
health, no matter what, your health, right?
yeah,
Don't
it's not
spread
worth.
the
Yeah,
COVID.
don't
Don't
spread
spread the
the.
COVID.
So
And this is so,
Social distancing dating, please.
this is so
we're
unintelligent.
socially distanced.
This is so unintelligent, but my wedding.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking forward to your wedding because it's gonna be like my first trip out,
Yeah.
and I can't wait to be in a plane by
I'm
myself.
sure it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, next question. What's your advice to your 20-year-old self when it comes to relationships?
Ooh,
Damn!
girl, don't. Minus girl,
What
don't do
is
it.
up? Okay.
Girl, just don't do it. No, no regrets. Because if I had any other different, no, if I did anything differently, I wouldn't be the woman I would be today.
Yeah, I would have
But
just.
don't do it. But don't do it.
I would
You
have.
wouldn't be the woman.
No, I would have gone for more buffets rather than the a la carte.
But I think for me, it's just, dude, I live my life well. Even if it was in a bad way, I have no regrets. Like I can say I lived life.
Yeah. Don't take yourself seriously. I would tell myself in my 20s. Actually, I did tell myself that.
No, you know what I would say also is like understand more
Yeah.
your parents and your older siblings.
Mm.
That's so nice, actually.
Because I don't understand most of them now that I understand more of them now that I'm older, and I didn't understand when I was younger.
You're absolutely 1000%
Yeah.
correct, because I would have. Yes, I agree with you. I would have told myself that don't be a dickhead to your parents or to your
Mhm.
family, and don't go off without telling them where you are in the world.
Oh yeah. There were solo long haul flights so that people know
I never
where.
Oh, sweetie, that I was not even in my 20s. I was like 15, 16. I was like
Oh my
jetting
God.
off somewhere with my parents, not knowing where the hell I was. And then
Naloka ako kay mommy mo. Oh my
It's
God.
good to be a little adventurous. But, we talk about basically your advice to your 20-year-old self, which I'm sure is completely different to what you are now. But you're never free from worries. I'm just wondering, self-love is really about accepting the worries. Do you have any worries right now? Like maybe you can share
Oh
one
my
or
gosh,
two.
every day. Every single day. It's like
It's a
it's like
thing.
this, right? Like, you know, do I work hard enough? Do for the place that I want to be in life, which
Yeah.
I want to have a privileged life, and that's not because of who I am or who my parents are. Do I work hard enough for that? Does the life that my husband and I want and the family that we want together, do we work hard enough for that? And am I a good person? And every day I think to myself, fuck, am I a bad person? No, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because now you're married, so you don't only worry about yourself, but you worry about your partner
And our
Mm.
dog
and your doggies, and then once you have your
Children.
juniors,
Yeah.
that's when you like. I don't worry about myself anymore. Like it's a funny thing
Yeah.
because I worry about my child's future, so I try as much as possible to lay out the best possible ground rules for her to have to be a very, I would say, benevolent individual, but a decent human being.
I love that. Everyone needs to be decent right now. That's all I'm going to say. Kindness is the new currency. Please.
Kindness
True.
is the Bitcoin of criticism.
But I have to say though, it's like if people treat you badly,
Oh.
no, if there's any
Yeah.
way,
The story.
no,
behind
if there's people who are mean to you or bad to you, don't take it lying down. That's my thing. Be
Mm.
kind, but don't take it lying down.
It's
Right?
good to
Yeah.
block.
You need to like.
Rewind, honey.
You just need to stand up for yourself, be the best person you can be, and
Mm.
think.
And if you're feeling bad, watch RuPaul's Drag Race. I mean, that always makes you
Yeah.
feel good.
Or like
Yeah.
Real Housewives. Any Real
Sweetie,
Housewives.
any Real Housewives show, everyone's so much better than them. I mean, you're like, wow, that's the.
I haven't seen. Okay, fine, I'm
I
gonna watch.
wish there was a Real Housewives of Manila, so I can
Oh,
be in it.
Sweetie,
You need to have one.
You'd be fun in it. I
super.
have to be a wife first. I have to be a wife first. Somebody wife stuff to join the cast.
Make it happen. Put the ring on it.
In random fights with
Babes, I think we should ask these
middle
two ladies. I know it's
age
their
women.
show, but it's our turn to ask you questions.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh
Go
sure.
for it.
So, okay, my question to Bea and Ciari would be, what type of man would you like to end up with characteristics so that we can help you?
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. We talk about this all the time,
Yeah.
right?
You wanna go first, yeah?
I'll just
Three.
keep it simple.
Three
You need a
answers.
drink, honey.
I'll keep it simple. I used to look for bad boys, like people that, make life exciting. The more thrilling, I've done trespassing because of someone.
Make your
I've
life
done
exciting yourself. You don't need men to do it for you.
You've dodged
So-
going because of that, of people.
So now I look for kindness, emotional maturity, and a good voice once in a while, and
You-
a
you
nice
really-
nose.
Really turned 30, honey.
Yeah, there you go. That's mine. Straight up.
Yeah. I think during this show, mine changed so much too. Like before, my checklist would be like somebody exciting, somebody tall, somebody funny, somebody blah blah blah. But now it's like I just want somebody kind, who has
You know what?
emotional
My
intelligence.
checklist
Mhm.
was all of those things, and my husband is all of those things, but he's also like super nice, and he's caring, and he's sensitive, and he is like sexy. He's got the best
Yeah.
butt.
He got the best butt, actually. Yeah, he's got the best.
I'm gonna look at your Instagram and check out your husband's butt.
It's like real, like, I always check it out. Like, he
That's
knows.
part
how-
of self-love. You gotta look at your own butt too and like it.
I'll tell you this. I've got a
Okay.
dear friend. His name is Francis Oliveira.
Ooh.
And he got married to our friend Christian. And he asked, like, he would, every time he go to church, okay, it doesn't mean to say that, he's Catholic or whatever, but he prayed for a tall guy
Yeah.
that's blonde, with blue eyes, younger than him, like all the characteristics of his husband.
Yeah.
Prayed to every single church that he can go to. God, his husband.
He got it. Say a prayer is real. I told you.
I'm also like, I'm not the most religious, so no, but I'm saying it's not even about that. Manifest that shit.
He manifested it through his religion,
Manifest
his
that
prayers,
shit.
but you can
For
manifest
whatever way you can manifest it. Religion, like you're gonna be like a witch and you're gonna make a note and you throw it in a fire at night.
Actually, Bea and Cherry, like Cherry manifested that you're going to become healthier. You know, and you did it, right?
She's a thin bitch.
Yeah, that's right. But she did it. She manifested
Cherry,
it.
come on, go make a round.
And Bea,
She's so
if you haven't forgotten our conversation several times, because Bea and I are pretty close, right?
Yeah.
And Bea was always saying, you know, Ferds, I wanna just live a quiet life, perhaps by the ocean and stuff like. Where the hell are you?
Yeah.
In the mountain. Manifest.
But you manifested that.
Yeah. Manifest your future, but manifest also that you love yourself. I think that's important.
If I'm gonna manifest a man, though, I just want a kind,
no one
loyal
else
man.
to love you,
Amen.
and you're never gonna find anyone else to love.
Can you say that tonight before I go to bed?
Talk Ferdi in bed and tuck yourself in bed and just say the nice things. Yeah, so we're coming to a close. I think we always do a bit of our takeaways. Because we love having, experts such as yourself, people that really practice
We're by no means experts.
Experiences.
I would say I'm the expert in like not having love for forever and then stumbling upon it. Not even
I'm still there. I'm still studying.
Stumbling upon it. So it was all a chance, lucky chance.
Experience is the best teacher.
No, but I would have to say this. The moment it was so weird. The moment I let go of, I had something in my past that was holding me on for forever. And then 4 weeks later, and I had let all of that go, the emotional shit go, everything go. 4 weeks later, Andrea walks into my life. And I didn't expect it. And I was like, I'm so okay with like being unloved and not having a family and not ever having like a life or whatever. And then he walks in. And I think that's a big testament to like radical acceptance into life.
Radical acceptance.
I love that. Radical acceptance, radical transparency, whatever it is, just put radical before it. It's perfect. Yes. Radical love too. But we'll start off. Maybe Shari, you always usually lead the takeaways. What did you learn today?
Okay, my takeaway today, I think it's very simple. Usually our takeaways are so long. My takeaways are so long, but now I feel like be kind is my main takeaway here. Because be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and you attract kinder things into your life. And that's what you want, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of. This is gonna sound silly, but like this year I had a little notebook just for my emotional work. So work for like, your relationships, yourself. And it sounds like very diligent, like student material, but at the same time.
Some stuff, Bea. That
would be good. Like I think some people don't.
I'll send you some stuff.
Yeah, even the people that usually listen to after this, they go through so much anxiety and worries. I get shocked. It takes work, takes time and patience. Do your homework. Be compassionate and be as fabulous as Ferdi and Cam. I think that's the best. We're going to aspire to do that. But yeah, maybe Cam and Ferdi, maybe you can share like one last piece of nugget of wisdom from either of you.
Nugget of wisdom.
Maybe I'll start then while you're thinking.
Yeah.
I don't have a nugget of wisdom to give you guys because I am only 35.
32?
29? Are you entering your 30s?
Guys, listen to Bea and Shai because you know what, the people that are asking to come on their show is a great way for you guys to acclimate to your own lives and to make yourselves develop into somebody that can be your best life. So and I'm so glad that Bea and Shari have this platform to help people out. Uh, Whether or not you agree with us or you agree with Shari and Bea, but at least you hear out other people's opinions without having to get judged and be judged. So that is my little nugget
I love
of
that. Judge or
words.
not be judged. Don't judge na lang.
I would really have to say always ask questions, always ask for help. I'm a big purveyor in thinking of, everybody's going through something hard, and don't be afraid of asking yourself, your friends, your family for help, because there's a lot of people who have, lost their lives to COVID without them having COVID. And honestly, ask for help. And that's all it is. And love yourself, love everybody else in your life, and most importantly, just spread love.
I love it. I love you, Bea.
Love
Sometimes.
you guys.
Love you guys. Love you guys.
I love you guys. So thank you so much for being vulnerable with us. And we really do wish you contentment. And I'm sorry, Ferdi said you can't be content or else you'll be dead. So just happiness na lang. I think I'll wish happiness. So thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you so much
For asking us to be here.
And
Yeah, of
guys,
course.
I'm gonna invite Bea and Shari, and of course my dear friend Camille to be on my show. Okay, next time.
Yes.
I'm gonna realize this when you guys have the opportunity to join me.
And if you guys have any questions about mental health or anything, I'm available on Instagram or Facebook, and you can always ask me questions.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm gonna take you up on that because this is like I see a coach like every 2 weeks, and I think it's great. Like it's something people should do, right? Like just talk to people
Really,
that are
it's like a grocery store. You have to do it.
yeah.
There's no shame. There's no shame in it.
And you have to find the right one. My last one just passed away because he looked like an old Santa Claus. His name's Fred, but he had Buddhas everywhere and parrots. It was the best thing on earth.
Poor guy.
Yeah. So guys, do the work and take care of yourself. Next week we have an international podcaster. His name's Luke West from Canada. He runs the podcast called The Imperfect Pod about manhood and vulnerability. Can you imagine?
Don't talk too much, guys.
Yes. So yes, you can join. But he's he's a lovely guy. And what we're trying to promote for next week is like date like a podcaster, which means ask a lot of questions, have a curious mind, don't have selfish love. Right, Shari?
Yes. So stay tuned, guys, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Instagram, and Twitter. Send us your love successes and failures on our website, thirstyand3.club. We promise to keep it a secret. And we promise to do our research and give you sound advice. Also, we have a weekly newsletter called The Thirst Trap. We send you hope, happiness, and humor all in your inbox. It's a guide for the modern day woman or man who wants to stay smarter and stay saner.
Yeah.
So again,
I'm gonna write you an anonymous note.
Please do. We love anonymous letters.
love anonymous letters. And again, honestly, sometimes you can judge our letters and you think that, oh, they're crazy. But really, if the person they were talking to was kind to them, they wouldn't have gone,
Miss Baker, send us your bakering project.
Okay.
Whatever. We'll take it. We'll do it.
Okay. Thanks again, Cam and Ferdy.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Thirsty
Bye.
and 30.